That way you have the recording. I can tell you though, these first two files are just like practice to understand the color models. So I'm not going to be going through those because it's a lot of like tricks. So what they want you to do basically is you're opening these files, and you're going to be it's going to be helping you understand how a color wheel works as far as it's concerned in Photoshop. So to stare at items and then turn them off and see the color that it turns and stuff like that. So it's a very interesting experiment, but it's not going to do anything for you to watch me do it. So yeah, but you don't actually have to turn these files on. They're just showing you how screen color works, subtractive color works, that sort of thing. Okay. So we're going to open file 5-7. Save it as RGB color balance. Okay, so the image has a yellow tone overall, which makes it a beautiful image. However, the color balance can be manipulated to create other tones that are equally as interesting. So check it out. Very nice. Okay, verify sunset layer is targeted. Create a new fill or adjustment layer and click color balance. So sunset targeted, new layer, color balance. All right, and so this can be a little tricky when you are putting in these numbers and then changing screens again. I'm not convinced that it holds them, so we'll just be very, very careful to acknowledge that we'll at least click out so that those numbers get set. Okay, so on the properties panel, note that tone is set to midtones. All right, and then drag the top slider to 43 and the middle slider to -36. So 43, -36. So you can see it is now more red. Click the tone list arrow and then choose highlights. So this is what I mean. I'm going to click like outside of those numbers that I've set. And now I'll go to highlights. Drag the top slider to 26 and the middle to -21. 26, -21. What is this? Does this show me the difference? It does. Oh, cool. So I can see the difference. There you go. All right, so now it says click the Reset Adjustment Defaults button on the Properties panel, which is this little curvy arrow here. And it takes us back to where we started. Now drag the top slider to -28. And the bottom slider to 44. Ooh, that looks cool. All right, and now we're going to learn about the eraser tool. The eraser tool is a quick way to erase pixels from an image. When a layer is targeted, the eraser tool will erase pixels, leaving transparent areas. In a flattened image, all layers are flattened to one background layer. The eraser tool paints with the current background layer color. All right, the current background color. There you go. So click the tone list arrow. Choose shadows. All right, I'm going to click out of that to make sure it stays. Choose shadows. Drag the top slider to -27. And the bottom slider to 37. Click the tone list arrow, choose highlight. All right. So y'all, sorry, I'm being a little OCD right here, but I don't trust it. Okay, so tone list arrow, highlights, and drag the top slider to -20 and the bottom slider to 15. And compare. Ooh, that is really cool. See, look, we brought back all kinds of like blues and greens in here. And so now save your work. And you can close this file. Okay, so last one for this section is called rods and cones. And we're going to open 5-8, name it rods and cones. File, save as rods and cones. All right, click select on the menu bar, click load selection and load the selection named circle. So select, load selection, and then choosing this circle. Okay. Check us out. All right, now click edit on the menu bar, fill, click the contents list arrow, click 50% gray, and then click OK to fill the circle with gray. So edit, fill. Let's see, the content list arrow, find 50% gray, and then click OK. And now we're going to hide our selection marquee. I put the note here, Control H, but it's also right here. It says Command or Control H. Oops, not on this screen. Do it in Photoshop. Control H. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to set, click our brush tool, set the foreground color on the toolbar to white. So brush, and then we'll do X to reverse these. Set the brush size to 400. And the hardness to 0, and the opacity to 20. All right, and then it says position the brush at the center of the gray circle, and then click the brush one time. All right, so about there, click one time, and I get a teeny tiny bit of a highlight. Now move the brush slightly to the right and click again to paint the highlight. So about right here, and then continue. You do this, I don't know, 26 times, I guess, or so, or less, depending on who you are and what you feel identifies a highlight. So just something in that. Okay. So now change the foreground color to black. So we'll just click there to toggle those. Approaching the circle from the outside and overlapping slightly, paint a shadow counterclockwise from 9 to 5. All right, so about here or so. Oh, I'm going all the way to 4. So if you see, you want to brush. So remember, with this, the way that this brush is, it's kind of fuzzy at the end. So if you get further out, it's just a nice little, see, very subtle. Okay. So now we've created a shadow. Click the Create New Fill or Adjustment layer and click Hue and Saturation. So Layers panel, Hue Adjustment, Hue Saturation, there. And then in the Properties panel, click the Colorize checkbox. That's right here. And now it's red. So drag your saturation slider all the way to 50. Drag the hue slider to 205. And now it's a beautiful blue